You're listening to Cinema Red Pill. I'm Sharon. This is another episode with Timothy, who was my day one. He's my day one person when I started the podcast. This is our first time in a really long time for us to do an episode together.
You said how many months?
In 4 months. I even checked. The last episode we did together was Queen of Katwe. When it came out, really a long time ago. And before that, you were the only person I was doing episodes with. So I have grown. The family has grown.
I know. I've been replaced.
But now we're back to our roots. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about... first, we're going to do a review on Arrival, the sci-fi movie Arrival. Then after that, we're going to talk about the Oscars. We're recording this on Monday. I wouldn't say it's the day after, because in our timeline it happens on Monday.
Yeah.
It starts at about 4, ends like
Monday
at about
morning.
8. Yes. So the Oscars happen today. The Oscars happen today, and we're recording for that. We're going to just run by the winners and talk about the sick thing that happened. The really fucked up thing that happened at the Oscars. But okay, now let's start off by talking about Arrival. So Arrival was directed by Denis Villeneuve. I say his name really well.
Very well.
I have heard
I learned it from you. I don't know how I used to pronounce his name.
Someone used to say Denis Villeneuve. Like, I don't know what you'd be able to call it that. And he's directed really great movies. Like, he's one of those guys who I think doesn't have a bad movie. He must be one of the greatest guys of our time right now.
Yeah, he's the guy right now.
He is one of the guys. Like, he looks like he's going to be those guys who will watch their journey and be all Spielberg and Ridley Scott on us, kind of thing. So he's done Prisoners, Sicario, Enemy, and another one I recently watched, Incendies. That thing put me in a trance. Anyway, so the film stars Amy Adams, Lois Lane, Jeremy Renner, Hawkeye. And Forrest Whitaker. Those are the most notable names.
Rogue One, not Rogue.
That's not a big role. Like, you don't like the way you can look at Jeremy Renner and he's all Hawkeye.
It's such a franchise.
I know. So it's a story about aliens who come down to Earth and they land in ships. And no one knows what they want, so they send Amy Adams, she's a linguistic, to try and communicate with the aliens to find out why they're here, what they do and what they want, why they've come on Earth. They drop in different parts of the world. One of them drops in one of the countries in Africa. I can't remember. One of them, like, do you remember? Because there was one in China. But there's one which even drops in Africa. There's one that drops in the US. It really drops in different places, which reminds me of, I think I'll cut this out, which reminded me of District 9. Remember how in the beginning they're like, why would it drop in South Africa? Why would it drop in But this one drops in all the different areas.
Now that's a proper introduction.
More objects have landed around the world.
This is one of 12. I'm never going to be able to speak their words.
Got 2 days. Figure something out.
I am human. It's their language. We need to make sure that they understand the difference between a weapon and a tool. Language is messy, and sometimes one can be both.
Are you dreaming in their language? It's possible they're prodding us to fight among ourselves.
This is just a way to force us to work together for once.
It's more complicated than that.
How is it more complicated?
Russia just executed one of their own to keep their secret.
Got 21 hours
Before they start global war.
So how do we clarify their intentions?
I go back in.
Why does this feel worse?
So it's not now. It's an alien invasion. It's not an invasion. It's just an alien movie. But it's not one where you're going to see bullets and stuff, which the most recent thing you could think of is like Independence Day Resurgence. Let's even use the worst one. So I'm in a movie group, and one of the people was like, when does the action begin? Like, that doesn't begin. It doesn't happen. It's more about where they're going to try and solve the problem. The aliens coming by speaking to them, just using language to solve the problem that they're going through. It's more of a suspense drama because it revolves around that, and not so mainly about the characters in the film. The movie really is great at creating suspense. That's one of the things I loved the most about it. Now, I'm going to start with the way it begins. It begins in different ways. You get some flashbacks of Amy Adams with her kid. And then, after that is when the alien invasion starts. So, you look at her, she's all drag and sad, and the movie really makes the entire thing in her perspective alone. It's not something that's in a general perspective. Like the screens you see with anything, alone she has seen. She comes and people are so bothered about what's happening with the aliens coming down. These ships, they're not understanding, but for her, she just goes to class like it's a normal day. Yeah. That already creates so much suspense. You're wondering, where is this character like this? You already start creating a lot of assumptions and assuming how the movie is going to go, which even made the experience better for me, because it didn't turn out the way it seemed. Like it was going to be something really, really ordinary. It's a slow burn. It takes its time. It really takes, and that's something you don't see a lot. And I wanted to compare it to something I was comparing it today. I don't know if you've seen Passengers.
No, I haven't seen Passengers.
Passengers is a really fast-paced, very...
The Jennifer Lawrence perspective?
Yes, they really move everything so fast. They don't take their time on anything. It's a very interesting concept. Passengers specifically, really interesting concept. But the way they bring about the concept and the movie is shitty and Michael Bay-ish. This one is really tactfully and masterfully done in a very nice cinematic way.
Yeah, they don't like... Pretty much like how Independence Day was. I think it's the complete opposite of Independence Day.
Okay, so about that, the scenes where one of my favorite scenes is where Amy Adams is going into the ship to look at the aliens for the first time, and the level at which they take their time when showing you point by point, it was really, really cool. I liked that. Another concept I liked a lot about the film is how they talked about the language. Language is a major theme in this, and how they want to communicate with the aliens and solve the problem instead of using games. They specifically attack games, and how games just put a competitive aspect for things, but then you look and understand. And they say how language affects the way you think. That's one of the concepts I think become a thinker after you finish watching the movie, because you put it really in perspective and getting that thing of what language do people dream in. Really cool. I've over talked. First say something.
No, about the language thing, like I watched some documentary. I think it's by Michel Gondry. I don't know if
Michel Gondry, that person
Eternal
always
Sunshine of the
makes me
Spotless
think.
Mind.
I have Eternal Sunshine here.
Yeah, so there's a documentary he did with some philosopher, some modern day philosopher called Noam Chomsky. And this guy was actually going through how important like language is for like just development of civilizations, because I think when you're making like let me say the early man, when he was probably making his first homestead with everything, the first kingdom, say people have to have a common language under which they can all communicate and actually come up with these rules for how they are going to live in that society. So yeah, bringing it into this thing of an alien invasion movie, it was really cool because it shows how if you don't have that medium through which to communicate, there's always going to be conflict. You have to either come down to someone's level and understand them, and communicate with them for you to actually go forward. So I feel that was really cool for him to have that in a movie, a science fiction movie, moreover.
Okay, what else about the film itself?
You talked about the suspense. I feel they did a very good job with creating mood, the way they shot the film. The cinematographer, Bradford Young, there's a way how he he shoots things and makes them either look hot, like when he shoots like someone near a window, you can really see the sun coming through, or when he's trying to be more subdued, the place looks really dark, and I felt that tone was there in Arrival. There was a lot of darkness. It created that suspense that you say, because everything seemed very glam in that world at the time.
So glam.
Yeah, so that's kudos to him for actually bringing out a world that a bit like today is a bit glam. Everyone is a bit low about the current state of things, immigration, war, all that. So I felt he brought it out very well. Okay, I don't know. I think as a person who's also a screenwriter, I'll probably talk about the way the movie was written and the way they play with these time shifts. I felt that was really cool because in the beginning, again, you sort of come to realize at the end that you've been seeing things that have happened before and all that. So I felt, in a way, like I remember we're having a debate with some people and we're talking about how Christopher Nolan has been an influence, and I think this is one of the ways he was able to.
I knew you were going to bring that up.
And I had to because I felt this is like when like you're measuring a director's influence, these are some of the things you see in the movies that come after. A person who, because his main themes are usually memory and time shifts, so to see other directors now like Villeneuve taking on movies that you could see get some influence from the movies before them, I feel it was really cool. I liked how the movie was written. That was actually the main thing, I think, when I left the cinema. I was happy about that. Like, when I left the cinema, that was the main thing. Like, of course, I had seen the cinematography was good, the acting was good, but just the way they played with us through the writing, that was what really,
so cool.
That was what really got me.
Like we talked about the eternal sunshine, eternal sunshine of the spotless mind. So one of the things that I thought about, that relate to that film is how it ends. So now here comes real spoiler territory because this film has a twist. Another thing I really like about the twist, it's not a film that I don't like The Usual Suspects because I feel like that's a twist movie.
Yeah,
for me it's such it's really M. Night Shyamalan, like, let me shock you, twist, here it comes, and that's it. The punchline is the twist. I hate that. So this film, the twist comes in and the person has to deal with the twist. Like, they set it up. I can't do this without spoiling it. So Amy Adams finds out that she's going to have a child, and the child is going to die of cancer after some time. She's going to have a child with Jeremy Renner's character. So now that's the twist, because you always think that the film is said that all those flashbacks are actually flashbacks, yet they are forwards. They're basically forwards. So they actually pose this conflict of what is she going to do? Is she going to go ahead and have the child, or now just not bring the child in together? And then they justify it with what reminded me of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, because they also be in this situation where they know it's going to end badly, but then they're like, you know what? It will be worth it to just go through the experience. So she also chooses to just go through the experience, and that was really nice. That's what made it not a twist movie for me. I really like that. And again, about that twist, when I was talking about the beginning with Amy Adams and how they show us to her, you would never think that these were forward scenes, exactly. Because she's all in this place where she looks like she's mourning, and they will show you this scene of the kid dying, and you're like, oh my god, she's mourning, and they're making her go through this, and that was really, really cool. I really, really like that. It's pretty. It was a very. I feel the script was written by a person who really took detail and thought of how everything would connect. It wasn't linear, like most stories, probably really non-linear.
So I like that. I like movies that play with you in that way, So it worked for me. Okay,
can I say one of my bad things about the film, which I remember almost clouded my judgment of the whole thing from our first viewing? It kind of threw me off a bit. So this film puts so much time in the alien thing. They devote all their time showing us people trying to communicate with them, and
the symbols,
that's the main. It really, you feel like you're so invested in the aliens, and it's what you want to know. You want to really know the resolve of the aliens. But it reaches almost close to the climax, and the thing just shifts gear and goes into the characters. That threw me off. I'm like, guys, we've been here about the aliens. Why are you putting me in this chat? Not that I like the twist, and that stuff was nice, but it killed my whole experience that I was going through, because I was engaged with the aliens. And they're like, and why they're this is not the punchline today. They're like, no, like, that really threw me off. It kind of threw me off. It didn't make me hate the film, but it made my experience weird. So that's why my second viewing was much better, because now I knew that those are the advantages about second viewings, really. But
you pick up on all that.
You already know what's going to happen,
so you can
you
focus on the
can
details.
focus and really immerse yourself in the film. But that, man, build up, aliens. So it almost felt like the aliens were just there to bring that non-linear timeline for her.
Yeah.
They almost felt like a backdrop, yet they were
the center of attention.
The center of attention for like an hour and 20 minutes. Then in the last 40 minutes, you just bring that really threw me off. And Jeremy Renner.
What's wrong?
Jeremy Renner was useless. But like that man was the pure definition of how they write useless women characters. The man, he made, I think, only one decision by himself. Other times he's just there to stand around, react, like they make them be in love, but you're not even buying that. You're like, this man is so useless in this film. That is the definition of how women are written. They wrote a man like that. Poor Hawkeye was so misused. It was really hilarious. But those are my only two gripes with this. Jeremy Renner.
But I didn't mind his role. Of course, Jeremy Renner, he's a big actor, and probably when you see him in the movie, you expect him to do more, and he did much less. Probably was there to get the box office figures up a bit, but
that man doesn't.
I'm going to let it slide.
I know. These are all things that you can let slide. Yeah. That first point I brought being my biggest issue, but these are all things that you can let slide. Is there anything else you want to say? I think we're going to move on to the Oscars.
No.
We're going to talk about the Oscars, which happened today on the 27th. I'm going to say today because we're recording on Monday. This will come out on Wednesday. Yes, like I said, I have to talk about the big issue that happened at today's Oscars. I am so excited to talk about this. I actually have to play a clip of this. I must remember this event because it is epically bad. So, if you don't know, when it came to Best Picture, which should be the first category we talk about, so for Best Picture was Arrival, Fences, Hacksaw Ridge, Hello High Water, Hidden Figures, La La Land, Lion, Manchester by the Sea, and Moonlight. La La Land, me myself, I also thought was going to win. Obviously, it almost felt obvious, and I actually preferred it, but I really, really wanted Moonlight to win. I really want Moonlight to win. Like, I want to live in a world where Moonlight wins. So you see La La Land. So what happens at the event is that La La Land is announced to be the winner. After 3 whole speeches, they notice and stop them and say, you know what? Moonlight is the one that won. And the producer had to pull out the paper and show it to the screen, and it's like, Moonlight is the one that won. It was the worst.
And the Academy Award for Best Picture.
You're impossible. Come on. La La Land.
Thank you to the Academy. Thank you to Lionsgate. Thank you to our incredible cast and crew. We're all up here right now.
To my family, Maman, Papa, Jeff, Hommage, vous adore. Matt Pluff, you kicked this off. And Damien Chazelle, we're standing on your shoulders. We lost, by the way, but, you know.
Guys, I'm sorry. No, there's a mistake. Moonlight, you guys won Best Picture.
Moonlight won. Come on, this is not a joke. This is not a joke. I'm afraid they read the wrong thing.
This is not a joke. Moonlight has won Best Picture. Moonlight, Best Picture.
Guys, this is very unfortunate what happened. Personally, I blame Steve Harvey for this. I would like to see you get an Oscar anyway. Why can't we just give out a whole bunch of them?
I'm going to be really proud to hand this to my friends from Moonlight.
Oh my God.
And the La La Land guys have to walk off slowly.
No, not only do they have to walk up slowly, they have to take away the Oscars they were holding. Like, just picture this. You've worked on this film for a long time. Dream come true. You're there. You're full-on dream
So
comes true, and
close.
someone just takes it away from you in seconds.
No, that must have been a prank.
Soul crushing. Oh my god. But yeah, that was the biggest. I think it will be a historical thing.
Yeah.
First of all, it's the worst thing to happen to the biggest award of the night. If this had happened like in best editing or something, like the story would have run by, it would just have been a small joke. And first of all, people even came into these Oscars with the mind of this is going to be La La Land versus Moonlight. Like La La Land is going to sweep, Moonlight will be lucky if it gets. It was more a versus thing. And then that happens. Anyway, so in the sense of it, I was really happy that Moonlight won.
Yeah.
I really wanted Moonlight to win.
It
was just going to be so nice for them. Their story is sweet.
Yeah, it's very simple. It's not trying too much. Yeah. Though I did feel initially like the first time I watched it, I think I gave it a bit of I didn't give it a bad review, but I was a bit hard on it.
Why?
Because I didn't like some of it's divided into 3 parts. Yeah, so I liked the first part where the boy is called Sharon.
Best part. And in that part he's called Little.
Yeah, Little. Then later on he's Sharon, right? Then later on he grows up to become, what was his name?
I've forgotten his name. He becomes all gangster.
Yeah, so I didn't like the final part. It really didn't work for me. I
liked.
But for me it was a bit anticlimactic because I watched the first part when he's young, and I loved how he finds his father figure and he's just this young kid. Maybe he's probably being bullied. Then we go to when he's a bit older and he's going and there's this intense relationship he has with another spoiler guy. So
that's not a spoiler. Everyone knows it's supposed to be.
I don't think everyone who has heard of Moonlight knows it's.
And that's a blunder people are having because someone comes complaining like, why
giving us these movies? Yeah. Anyway, so I felt those first 2 parts were very good. Then it switches over to the end, the third part, and he has now lost his way in life, and now he's trying to look for this long lost love of his. And that really didn't work for me.
Really ridiculous. That's really going. I really didn't read it that way. First of all, he has come out of juvie, so prison changes a guy.
Yeah.
And how I read it is, remember in the other scene, in the other first 2, he's a small, lanky little guy who's all. And people look at him and they know that they can take advantage of him.
Yeah.
So now in the third part, he's a whole other guy. He's a big buff guy. People are intimidated by him. And I wouldn't say that he goes looking for that it springs on him. Even that guy accidentally comes up on him, and they show that for you to say that he was looking for the long lost love.
I didn't like that the third part built all the way to that.
I really liked that it did, and I loved the guy how he was when he was older, and I loved the ending. I actually thought there was going to be a big sex scene. I don't know why. I was expecting some black on black stuff.
I could tell with the tone.
So that was so subtle, and the way he's all, and how it ends, and then the whole god, that was so good.
It just did. I was with the movie the whole way. Up until that point was when things now began going off for me. But then, other than that, it was a great movie.
It's a really great movie. Among these others, I don't know. I think we should talk about them along the way because they're actually winners of stuff.
Yeah.
Now let's get into Best Director. It was Damien Chazelle who won for La La Land.
Yeah. Who are the other guys?
The other guys were Denis Villeneuve for Arrival, Mel Gibson for Hacksaw Ridge. Actually, out of all these things, exactly. I haven't seen Hacksaw Ridge. I haven't seen Lion. Out of downs of Best Picture, and so this comes up again. Kenneth Lonergan for Manchester by the Sea, Barry Jenkins for Moonlight. It was almost the way I thought it was obvious Best Picture would win, and then Best Director would go to Damien Chazelle. It actually went to him. So let's talk a bit about La La Land. I like it. I know you like it, but although you like criticizing it, I don't understand your deal.
I don't know. I won't say I like it. I just appreciate that it's a good film. It's like it has great production value. It tells a simple, understandable story. It's not the complex narrative, say like Moonlight or Arrival, any of those. Yeah, but again, as I've told you before, me and musicals, it's just not. There's always a break there for me. I just don't. I may watch it and appreciate it, but it will never really resonate with me.
Wow. So that I'm the complete opposite.
Yeah, opposite.
Musicals
Are
are
your
my shit. Musicals are my shit. I love musicals. But I told you about my experience with this film because the first time I watched it, it was a solid 3 out of 5. And because things were throwing me off, and one of the major things that was throwing me off in my first experience was Ryan Gosling. You know, most musicals, people really know how to sing and dance.
Yeah.
Now, Emma Stone can get away with it because her face works. Ryan Gosling, like, works from the... He's just doing moves because he has practiced the moves. His facial expression is null, and that charisma is something that has to be there.
Yeah.
If you put a comparison to something like Singing in the Rain,
Gene Kelly,
yo, those guys were pros. Like, that is something. The music and the dancing is a major thing in the film. That is not a major thing in the film. Now, all that I had issue with. Then my second viewing. Now, this is why it somehow becomes how I ended up even liking it more than Moonlight. My second experience was a visceral experience, like I was real in it. And also because I knew, now I started taking appreciation of the things like the people not knowing how to sing, the dance not being a big deal. I really was just in these people with their love thing. It was really beautiful. Of course, I loved. Actually, I really have to give credit to the ending, that 7-minute montage, because it's the only reason I put the movie back and started it again, because I really loved that 7-minute montage of them. It was beautiful. I really liked this film.
It wasn't a bad film. I know I've criticized it for other things.
You keep calling it overrated.
Yeah, it could, because I don't know, getting anything, it would be the movie that gets, was it 14 nominations?
Those were the Golden Globes that have a musical category.
Yeah, and again, I don't know, like, even just like Emma Stone, I don't know what. Really, but I didn't think her acting was off the charts in the movie. It was even Ryan Gosling. I honestly didn't think the acting was.
No, Ryan Gosling was not a good actor in this film. Like, he would have rather won
because
for
Emma Stone, I don't know, she seemed like the same Emma Stone I've seen.
Emma Stone was
even
really
when she would argue, I would just see the Emma Stone of
My
Batman
defense for Emma Stone is those scenes of her audition.
Yeah.
Where she has to audition and like mostly there were 2 scenes. The part where she's there busy, then they interrupt her. Like the person
person gets a call or something.
So invested in the scene.
But
really a great acting moment.
Another thing why maybe I say it's overrated is compared to Chazelle's last film, Whiplash. I feel Whiplash was way better in my opinion, and it barely got any Oscar love apart from of course J.K. Simmons' Oscar. Yeah, but I feel like though this one probably has that flair, the lighting and all that, I felt Whiplash was a superior film and it didn't get that much love. So I was a bit put off. I was like, why are guys cheering for this music when they didn't cheer for his previous better film?
Okay, we'll see. Lead actress Emma Stone, we can move on from that. The lead actor was Casey Affleck in Manchester by the Sea.
An amazing performance.
Yeah, so you can talk about that if you want to.
No, because I feel the story itself wasn't different from, because I knew it was going to be a depressing movie. Everyone was talking about that. Yeah, but I didn't think it would be anything different. When I watched it, wasn't different at all. But Casey Affleck, when he's being his drunk self, when he's depressed, when he's just broken, when he finds out he has lost his family, it was just, he was hitting all those notes acting wise that I wanted to see, and it was to me it's the best performance I saw last year in any movie, and he deserved that Oscar. I don't think there will be any debate like last year when DiCaprio won and people were like, it was for sympathy, or he actually really deserved that Oscar. And he had put in a shift. He had acted in movies here and there. He has never really been the main man in like the big movies like his brother, but his grind paid off in the end.
I didn't enjoy Manchester by the Sea. Not even enjoying it. I didn't feel anything.
You didn't feel anything.
I didn't even feel sadness. That's the part that kills me. Because it's a sad movie, I felt no sadness.
No, I loved that movie.
I did.
And they had even these weird montages where they bring like this opera music and all that, and the way it was shot, and even they would say so much without like even like, I think was it the scene when when they came back now, was it to bury the brother, and his ex-wife came back,
Yeah,
and they're
that's
just showing
really
all those small glances, like how much a glance can say, and just a small gesture. I loved how this guy Kenneth Branagh, and I even didn't know the thing was like an original screenplay. I thought it was adapted at first. Yeah, but it was a great movie.
Do you remember the scene where he's in the hospital and then at the police station, and then he pulls out the gun and wants to shoot himself?
Yeah.
But
You jumped.
laughed.
You laughed. I thought you were going inside. I got so
You
scared.
people, it was the funniest.
How funny it was.
No, that's when I knew, fuck, this is not the emotion I'm supposed to. That's how much I wasn't with him in his sadness.
I don't know, I totally bought it. Like, I bought how a person at that moment in time, after doing what he did, the kind of guilt he would be feeling, and probably even telling you, don't worry, you go back, go home. Maybe he was wishing he would even just arrest him, but they're like, it's okay.
Know.
Yeah, and then when he comes out, he just grabs this gun from this police guy.
That thing made me laugh.
It actually moved me. I don't know, maybe I watched it
Just
at the time when I was too engaged with the movie, and it really
Maybe.
resonated with me.
Can we talk about the other films? Hacksaw Ridge, we didn't see. La La Land. Viggo Mortensen in Captain Fantastic. Did you see Captain Fantastic?
I watched it, yeah.
It was really good. That film, I liked it.
I also liked it.
It's
Oscar fair.
There's very many concept. No, chill the whole Oscar perspective. Like the film itself. There's some things that movie was pushing that I'm like, this is false. I'm not buying it.
Like what, the kids living in the wilderness and all that.
Let's move on to supporting actress, where Viola Davis won.
Fences? I haven't seen Fences yet.
No.
I haven't seen it yet.
Really? Why haven't you seen it yet?
I just haven't been able to get it yet.
I
never got it from you then.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't see it. Yeah, but which other part? I know there's Octavia Spencer. I've seen Hidden Figures.
Yeah. Hidden Figures is Manchester by Sea, Michelle Williams, Lion, Nicole Kidman, and Naomi Harris, Moonlight. Just a bit about I was about to say Hidden Fences. About Fences, I actually didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
I actually didn't like it. I didn't like anything going on. No, I didn't like Denzel, the lead. And there's so much. One thing though, there's really a lot of great character acting. We forgot to say. No, she can't. Yes, in Best Actress, like Elle, you know the movie Elle.
Isabel Huppert.
I really don't like the film. Like, I like it. I hate that film. But that chick is really good in the film. Now in this, Viola Davis is acting her ass off. Very recognizable. Great. Denzel acting his ass off. Like, there's someone who called it acting, the movie. Like, people are acting the fuck out of shit. But the film itself, it's really basically about his demons, like racism and money struggles, and he himself having some certain demons, of course. But then, he's such an asshole. He's really, really, really a big asshole. And one thing why I really didn't like the film is I never understand his assholism. I don't understand why he's an asshole, and I never sympathize with him. If you don't want me to sympathize with him, at least make me understand why he's doing that. Now, Manchester by the Sea, they set up why he's so cold.
Yeah.
You see, his brother dies.
Yeah.
He's
so
weird.
Yeah, he has seen worse.
Yes, he's really in this place where he has seen worse. But they give you the reason.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, this film is so much dialogue. He says the reason. Now, that's that argument someone gave me when I brought this up. It's like, but he just did. He said it. But this was a place where tell and don't show just didn't work for me. Yeah, those are my
I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing that. You said they call it acting the movie.
Acting.
Because I knew from the get-go that Fences was that movie Denzel has done to get an Oscar. Like, I knew that one straight up.
I think you wanted to talk about Hidden Figures?
Hidden Figures. Also, Hidden Figures, another racism related movie.
Nothing, so you can't give it shit.
Yeah, I can't give it shit. Yeah, but I don't know. It felt too much like a feel-good movie.
Now it was the pure definition of
it was a precious
movie.
It was kind of like one of in that line of, and for me it wasn't a bad movie because I liked the director's previous movie, Saint Vincent.
Saint Vincent was really good.
I liked his previous movie, so I didn't have any bias towards it. It just didn't blow me away, but it did well at the box office. which was weird.
I think it was the best. It's out
the
of
best
the
performing
best
Oscar
picture,
movies.
It's the best performing.
Yeah,
Oscar
so
movie.
of the best performing Oscar movie, and it was good because it was just this three. It was a story that was very relevant because this. I saw the parts at the end when they're showing these ladies and how they are now, when they were getting like the Maid of Honor from Obama and all that stuff, and I felt like that story probably had been slept on for too long.
Yeah,
it should have been told earlier. It was a feel good movie. I won't say it was daring in any way, like it told the story in this way. The cinematography was.
I know.
It was
really just a
clean cut
movie.
Yeah.
Popcorn actually.
Yeah.
So it's interesting when you say it was the out now, not in all the movies. You know, Suicide Squad won a film, so it's not the best performing Oscar movie out of the best picture, because it was also nominated for best picture. It's the highest grosser of best picture, and Moonlight is the lowest grosser for best picture. It's the one that won. That's so beautiful. So, Hidden Figures. It's a very, very basic movie, just a social injustice movie. But the thing, I cried at scenes. Me as moved as fuck.
There's that scene where like Kevin Costner even goes to the bathroom.
I didn't like that part.
I was like, what the hell?
That was
this white savior.
I hated that scene. That was my worst scene actually. But I liked the scene before that. Her speech.
And even it was.
No. She should have gotten nominated. She was snubbed.
Oh, and they gave Octavia Spencer.
You know who else was snubbed? Janelle Monáe was fucking awesome.
And she was in both Moonlight and Hidden Figures.
I know, which was so cool. Okay, moving on to Best Supporting Actor, which went to Mahershala Ali in Moonlight. That was one of the only characters I.
Do you like House of Cards? You don't like House of Cards?
I love House of Cards. That was one of the categories I had strong feelings towards. Like, if he hadn't won, I was literally going to be actually really sad about it. Like, they also won for Best Screenplay.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any strong feelings towards who was going to win. But Mahershala Ali, like I said, he was one of the only characters. When he went off the screen, I was genuinely sad. Like, and it made me actually realize how much I loved him being on the screen. Oh, and it had my best scene, the dinner scene with. Was it dinner? Did they even bring food on the table?
It was like a
that
meal,
table scene in Moonlight. Amazing. So I had strong, like, he didn't win the Golden Globe. Which one is it? They bring the Nocturnal Animals.
Yeah,
it was Golden Globe.
They gave that to Johnson.
I think it even made me beef Nocturnal Animals. I hated the movie more than I should because I was pissed that Mahershala Ali didn't win the Best Supporting Actor.
I saw him also because Janelle Monáe was his woman, then again he was also in Hidden Figures also. Last time he was with Taraji.
Anyway, that's Mahershala Ali won. Super cool.
I was actually Emma, I really praised Hello High Water, and I liked Jeff Bridges' performance. So like I was hoping that if it's not, because I was also kind of supporting the brothers. I was like, man, let black guys go and do this. But if there's supposed to be anyone else, it would have to be Jeff Bridges. I felt he also did very well in Hello High Water. Maybe he was a bit in character, playing that redneck sheriff and all that.
Which he does a lot.
He does a lot, and he does very well. Yeah, but he had a different kind of wit from his other movies. Yeah, and I like that. So
okay. Cinematography, Zootopia 1.
Zootopia 1?
Sorry. Cinematography, La La Land 1.
Okay.
We've talked about that. Now, I like this category. Documentary feature. Because I was quite a bit surprised. I would say I was surprised. I really thought 13th was going to win. In documentary feature, there's Fire at the Sea, I Am Not Your Negro, Life Animated, OJ Made in America, and 13th. I've watched the 3 that are the black ones.
Which ones are those?
No. Only the 2 that are the black ones, but so much hype was around I Am Not Your Negro.
Yeah, I Am Not Your Negro.
I actually thought she'd win. I don't know, because OJ Made in America, you've watched it?
Yeah, I watched the whole 5 episodes.
Exactly. Now, it had so much controversy around it because it's basically 8 hours.
Yeah.
of film, and that's not a movie. But
it
because
was the longest film nominated
that has
for an
to
Oscar.
be the exactly.
It was. I read
Like that guy
actually.
has actually suffered with people asking him like, "Do you really think this is a film?"
Yeah.
Like, but he's like, "I shot it to be a film," but it's like, "No, it was aired on ESPN in 5 parts. In 5 parts, so it's not a film." And then 13th, Ava DuVernay was going hard on the campaigns. Like she was really in the press a lot, and 13th is a really
It's
good film.
documentary.
But I kept thinking like there's no way the black person is not going to win. Like the black themed film is not going to. Sound editing was Arrival.
I saw Arrival. I figured Arrival would win sound editing.
You were saying you saw Arrival, yet we just talked
No,
about the whole
like
film.
I saw Arrival like that. The only Oscar they won was for sound editing.
For sound editing, Bambi. But the great original score was La La Land. Original screenplay, Manchester by the Sea.
Kenneth Lonergan.
Adapted screenplay, Moonlight. Best original song, City of Stars. I really like that song a lot. It's the best song.
At least Justin Timberlake's thing didn't win. That song is terrible.
I would have not minded Moana.
Clear.
You hate on Can't Stop the
I
Feeling.
didn't like that song, my god.
I think it's because they overplay. Oh my god. Best costume design was Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. And that's the first Oscar for any Harry Potter franchise film. Can you imagine?
Shocking.
I
didn't know that.
I was also in shock. Like,
I didn't know that.
Oh my god, I feel we're near Suicide Squad and there it is. Oh my god.
You can smell it from
I
here.
can smell it. Best makeup and hairstyling, Suicide fucking Squad is an Oscar winner.
I know.
That's fucked up. Anyway, we're done. This is it. You've been listening to Cinema Red Pill. I'm Sharon.
And I'm Timothy.
Yeah, we just did an episode on Arrival and the Oscars. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any feedback, comment on SoundCloud, Twitter, Cinema Red Pill, or Sharon Raki. My handle. I don't know if I want to keep saying my handle. It's weird as fuck. Cinema Red Pill, as in those things. But yeah, thank you for listening and bye.
Bye.